Okay, so welcome guys, welcome once again to my channel. For those of you who are new today, my name is Gaby from Gaby's Choreography. I teach valses, surprise dances, father-daughter dances, entrances, all kinds of dances for quinceañeras and sweet 16s, weddings as well, but this channel we're really focusing on quinceañeras and sweet 16s. So if you guys are planning your quince or sweet 16, let me tell you guys, you are in the right place. I've been doing this for over a decade, and honestly, I just wanted to put together videos with things that people tend to ask me the most. So, not going in any particular order, but hopefully these videos will help you guys. And today, guess what we're talking about? Guess we're talking about Damas and Chambelanes. So, it's gonna be a two-part video, so make sure that you guys watch both parts of this. So part one today, we are talking about just picking your damas and chambelanes and what goes into picking your damas and chambelanes. So first things first, you really want to sit and talk with your parents about what the budget is for your damas and chambelanes. So you may be thinking to yourself like, well, what goes into the budget for damas and chambelanes? So actually a couple of things. I even had to write some notes down because it's very involved. So number one is what they're going to wear. So you want to decide if, and typically it is the family that pays for the tuxedo rental for the chambelanes and the dresses for the damas. But that's not always the case. So if you and your family will be paying for the tuxedo rental and the dresses, you need to take that into consideration for your budget. Also the cost of choreography based on the size. So if you are planning on hiring a choreographer, usually the cost is for up to so many dancers, and every choreographer is different, but that's typically the way that it's priced. So if you have up to X amount of damas and chambelanes, this is the price. If you go over that amount, then it costs more, usually because it does take a little bit longer to teach more people. In the budget also, you might want to think of going back a little bit. If you can't afford all the tuxedos and dresses, sometimes your family might just pay for half of it, and then the damas and chambelanes will pay for the other half. So depending on what you're doing is what your budget will be. So yes, definitely step one is the budget, because the budget will determine how many people you can have in your court, right? Let's see, and then the type of court, guys. I have seen people with just boys. I've seen people with just girls, boys and girls, or they want sections where they have the boys only and then sections where they have the girls only. I mean, it really can be anything, but we're gonna focus on having couples, boys and girls, having just boys or having just girls, right? So let's see. Size of the court. So once you've decided if you're gonna have just boys, just girls, whatever the case may be, what you wanna do next is figure out the size of your court, and the budget will help you with that, right? So honestly, when you choose the amount of people that will be in your court, you wanna think about symmetry around you, right? So what I mean by symmetry is, so say I am the quinceañera, I want an even number around me, and I don't really want anyone hiding in the back behind me, all right? So let's see, we're gonna talk about having a full court, having a girls only court, and having a boys only court, okay? Let's talk about full court first. I'm looking at my notes, so just don't mind me. All right, so for a full court, you want an even amount of couples behind you. And you know what, I did a little drawing for you guys. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not the best at drawing, all right? But I did my best. So I'm hoping that a visual is gonna help you guys really understand what number of people, what number of couples works best for you. So talking about a full court, you want an even amount of people around you, as we had said. So for example, 14 people, 14 couples, 4 couples, or 2 couples. So here's my little drawing. All right, in your face, guys. All right, so say for 14, and you know what? I should have drawn this backwards, but you guys get the idea. So ignore the number up there. All right, so this circle is the quinceañera. If you have 14 couples, you have symmetry because you can have 7 on one side, 7 on the other side, right? If you had, for example, without you, 15 couples, where would that 15th couple go, right? Probably be hidden behind you, and it can't really go to either of the sides. I mean, it can, but it wouldn't look the best. So when we're talking about choosing how many couples, I mean, we are talking about really how many people does it look best to have. And that is the typical number. So it's 14 couples around you with the quinceañera in the middle. But I'll be honest, most people don't do that just because it's a lot. It's a lot to have that many couples and to coordinate that many couples and coordinate practices for that many couples. So not everybody does it. Or if another even number that you could use, 4 right here. So you would have yourself in the middle and an even number around you as well. So no one's being hidden in your dances. And these are just simple formations for you guys. You know, obviously there can be much more complicated formations, but for being symmetrical, you know, these are the simplest. Right here, if you had 2 couples, so this is you, the quinceañera, and then over here is an even number of couples around you. So yeah, in terms of symmetry, even number around you. So 14, 4, 2, whatever that number may be, just make sure it's even around you. Don't include yourself in that number. So that's for the full court, all right? And then if we are doing girls only, it's the same thing. It's an even number around you, not including you. Why? Because you want to be that even, you want to be the odd one in the middle. You want to stand out. So have an even number around you of girls, you know, a symmetrical amount of girls, so that you're right there in the middle. Another one that's different, actually, guys, is when you have just boys. So for boys, you want an odd number of boys. So not including you. So obviously because you're not a boy, right? Unless you're having a quinceañera, right? So, but still you want to have an odd number around you, because typically there's one boy that's dancing with you, right? So one boy that's dancing with you, and then you have an even number still around you. So say for example, I had 7 boys. That means 6 boys would be around me and 1 dancing with me. And it's okay when you have just boys if one's behind you, because they tend to be taller, right? And your choreographer should be able to help you with that stuff. This is not a one-size-fits-all thing, right? This is just me giving you guys advice on what works best numbers-wise for your court. But I mean, I have had all different numbers, all different kinds of court sizes, and we just make it work, right? So don't stress yourself about having these exact numbers or making it perfectly symmetrical. It's gonna work out regardless. You don't have to leave anyone out just to make your numbers match, so don't worry too much about it, all right? Let's see. And then now we're gonna talk about, you know, choosing family and friends versus hiring dancers. So I'm actually gonna start with hiring dancers, because I think choosing family and friends, there's a lot more steps to choosing family and friends. Like with hiring dancers, so myself, I had Who That Crew, right? For the longest time. I'm actually thinking about restarting Who That Crew, maybe under a different name, I don't know, but you know, just thoughts. So with Who That Crew, we actually were I had the first boy-girl dance crew for quinceañeras and sweet 16s in the Chicago area, because if you guys didn't know, I'm from the Chicago area. So first boy-girl dance crew for quinceañeras and sweet 16s. And the thing about when people hired my dancers, what I noticed is usually it was people who, you know, the quinceañera kind of was going to happen last minute. They didn't think they were going to have one, and then they all of a sudden are going to have one. So it's just easier to hire professional dancers who know what they're doing. You hire them, they go, they do their thing, they're pros at it. It doesn't take as long for them to learn as friends and family, right? As non-professional dancers. So that's why a lot of people will choose dancers. But even if you're short on time, that doesn't mean you have to do something like that. It's just something people do, right? You know, a lot of girls also will choose trained dancers because they themselves may be a trained dancer. So they want to do something spectacular and they want it to really stand out, and they don't have friends that dance. So, you know, they're doing it because it's fun for them. So they want to do something a little bit more difficult. So they'll get dancers, right? And don't let anyone tell you guys like, oh no, you have to do this or you have to do that. You should be just choosing family. I mean, if what you want to do is get dancers, talk to your mom and dad, do whatever it is that you're comfortable with, okay? Let's see, what else? You know, I will say that a plus of choosing dancers is that, you know, it's tends to be less drama. So you don't really have to deal with people not showing up to your practices, or I want to wear this, or I want to wear that, or a lot of the drama that comes with choosing friends and family, because the trained dancers, you know, they're hired to do this. It's no drama. They're there for the job, and you know, that's what it is. But I will say a lot of my girls got close to the Who That crew, so it's nice. It's an all-around experience, right? But I know a lot of you guys are here because you want assistance with how to choose damas and chambelanes that are friends and family. And that is the most popular thing that people do, is have friends, family, acquaintances for their damas and chambelanes. So this is actually, you know, I'm gonna give you guys a couple of steps for this, okay? So, I'm sorry that I always mess up on where I'm looking. There you guys are. All right, so first thing that I want to say about choosing friends and family is that they don't need to know how to dance. You know, I know a lot of people will give advice out there saying like, you know, make sure you choose people that know how to dance. I'm going to say that that's not the case. I'm going to say that the most important thing you want is for them to be dedicated. You want people who are going to take this seriously. You want people who care about you and who are going to be there for you through this entire process, because planning a quince is stressful enough. Quince, Sweet 16, it's stressful enough, guys. So it's not about knowing how to dance, it's about being dedicated, because if someone's dedicated, your choreographer can make the dance around whatever level your people are at, right? So I have had people who are very experienced dancers, even if they're not pro dancers, they're just good dancers. So I can work with that a certain way. I have people who have 2 left feet. You know what I mean? You know, that doesn't mean they can't be part of your court. Just myself as the choreographer, I've had to figure out ways to make it work with those people, right? Give them steps that make them look good. Not all the choreography for each person needs to be the same. So your choreographer should be able to help with whoever you have, as long as that person is dedicated and is going to be there for every single practice. Okay? So that's first. Actually choosing the people, I suggest making a list. Okay, make a list of all the people that you care about, and you know, just write down, you know, the guys, the girls, the just guys, just girls that you would like to have as part of your quince, and think about why you want to have them in your quince. And then you want to actually make that list kind of big, because some people might say no. You know, you never know. So if you're going to be paying for the outfits, it's likely people will say yes. If they have to pay for the outfits, it can be a little expensive. I mean, a tuxedo rental, 100, 150, sometimes more. The dresses also can be kind of pricey, so they might not be able to do it. Sometimes it's time constraints. You know, they have soccer practice, baseball practice, whatever it may be, during whatever season it is that you're planning your quince, but there may be time constraints as well, and there's just no time for them to do your practices. So make a list that's a little bit longer than you think you'll need, okay? After you've chosen how many people you'll have based on the things that we discussed before, so the budget, having symmetry within your dances, after you've figured all of that out and you know how many people you want in your court, make a list that's a little bit longer than that. And then first ask the people that you definitely know you want in it, right? So don't ask everyone, because then if all your first choices say yes, you don't want to leave anybody out, right? You don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. So first ask your absolute yeses. So say it's 7 couples, right? You ask those people first, and you need to let them know what comes with being part of your quince. I'm going to be honest, if you don't let them know what comes with being part of your quince, this is when you get people that say yes at first and then they back out the last minute, right? So let them know a couple of things. The cost, as we had discussed, so the surprise dance outfits, if they're going to have to buy them themselves, or if you're going to provide the shirts, let them know about the tuxedo rental, the dresses, all that stuff, the time commitment. So it is quite the time commitment being part of the quinceañera. So for example, okay, we're going to rehearse 2 hours every week, or we're going to rehearse this entire week for this many hours. Whatever your schedule for rehearsal may be, whatever the plan you make with your choreographer is, you need to let them know this is the plan, okay? And that I usually do the hall rehearsals the week of the quinceañera. So let them know that the hall rehearsal is mandatory. I can't stress that enough. Everyone should be at the hall rehearsal, because that rehearsal is how everything needs to look, how everything needs to run the day of your quinceañera. So make sure that your people go to your hall rehearsal, okay? And let them know that they need to do that. Let them know of the time to go to fittings. So let them know, like, I'm gonna need you to go get fitted for your tuxedo. I'm gonna need you to go get fitted for your dress, pick up, you know, your outfits for alterations, whatever it may be. You need to let them know that. Often the girls do photo shoots as well. So if you're going to be having a photo shoot, oh, there's a plane. Hold on. Sorry, guys. As you can tell, I'm outdoors, right? It just, you know, the light. All right, so if there's gonna be photo shoots, let them know how long the photo shoots will be and that you need them to be there for photo shoots as well. So sometimes there's photo shoots for like slideshows and stuff before the quinceañera. And then what time commitment is entailed from being from the day of the quinceañera. Sorry, I'm stumbling on words. But for the day of the quinceañera, you know, will they have to attend the church? If you are going to be having a mass. So some girls have mass, some girls don't. Some girls just do a blessing at the actual banquet hall. So, you know, do you need to be there in the morning or whatever time the mass may be? What time they need to be at your house for pictures beforehand? Will, like, at the hall, my personal rule for the hall is that everyone needs to be within my sight at all times. And that is the rule. They cannot go anywhere until they're done with the final dance. So if you're doing this on your own, honestly, it can waste a lot of time if people just wander around and just, you know, step outside for a second. I mean, it may seem like a second, but a quinceañera runs on a timeline and you want things done by a certain time so people can actually enjoy the party. So just make sure they know, like, I really need you guys there. I need you guys by me. You need to be at the church. You need to, whatever it may be, let them know. So all of this stuff, honestly, put it out there right from the get-go, and it is less likely that you won't have people dropping out the last minute, because all of this it's demanding, right? So it does take people who really care about you to do it. And then, you know, for the people that say no, just go down your list and find someone else who might be able to do it from that original list that you made. Those that say yes. So a couple of things. It's not just yes and okay, that's it, right? So those that say yes, one of the biggest ways that you can get your court to show up to your practices is having your parents talk to your damas and chambelanes parents, okay? So all it is your parents telling the damas and chambelanes parents, okay, my daughter's going to have her quinceañera, and she's requesting that your son, daughter be part of the court. This is what it entails. We just want to make sure that you guys are okay with it. And the reason being, guys, when your parents talk to the damas and chambelanes parents, it just makes them more likely to show up because those parents committed to your parents. It's really as simple as that. You know, they're gonna tell each other's parents, like, no, yo le dije que tú ibas a ir a la práctica, so you're going to the práctica. That's really all there is to it. You know, like myself, if someone asked for my daughter for a quince and I said yes, I'm like, no, honey, you are going to the practice. I don't care what else you have to do. You have to go because we already said yes. I told her mother you were going. So simple as that. Now, I understand sometimes people are shy, you know, or they don't have the time, or there's a lot of people, so they can't really go calling each person or meeting up in person. So another way that you can do kind of the same thing is for all of those who say yes, write a letter for their parents, you know, write a little note. It's kind of like an invitation to be part of the quince, or a thank you for saying yes to being part of my court, and direct it towards the parents and have your parents sign it. And that way, everything that I just said, put that into a letter. Thank you for being part of my court. And there's templates out there, guys, so you can, you know, Google it, but it's a thank you for being part of the court. This is what it's going to entail. And then they have something in writing and the parents can't say they didn't know, right? And it just makes them feel more involved. It makes it a more serious thing when you do something like that. I would say even if they ask, you know, on the phone or in person, it's still nice to do the little thank you for being part of my quince and a few notes about what that entails, okay? Let's see. And you know what? I actually think that's all for part one. So we finished part one. Make sure that you guys check out the second part of this, because part two of this is, it's not going to be choosing it, your damas and chambelanes, but part two is going to be more about scheduling the practices, what needs to be done at the practices, what do they need to take to the practices, how to schedule the practices. I've noticed that a lot of my girls, I literally have to walk them through the process of how to make sure that everyone can go on a certain day at a certain time. So there's actually ways to do that, and that's what the next vlog will be. So I hope you guys join me in that one as well. Make sure that you guys click subscribe. Make sure that you guys push that little bell. I am here to help you. So if there's anything else that you guys want to talk about, anything you want me to cover, guys, just write it down in the comments and I've got you, okay? All right, so thank you so much. I will see you guys next time.